Welcome. This is the Dropshipping Context and Perspective lesson. My name is Nathan. I'm with Instant Small Biz and ISB University. I want to start off just by saying I personally have multiple websites that are generating 5 figures in sales. I don't pocket the 5 figures, but I get a small percentage. But all of those sites either are currently or at one point was drop shipping. So for one, I know the ropes a little bit. I created my first website in like 95, 96. So I've been doing this a while. And for the naysayers that say it doesn't work or it's a scam or it's bad or something like that, um, there are people that have success, and it is a legit business model when done correctly. So I just want to get into context and perspective about it. You'll see me a few times in the course, but this course is made up of multiple presenters and instructors, so understand that. Um, so without further ado, I want to get right into it. All right, so this course has a built-in challenge, and we need you to create a website by the time that you're done with this course. That's the challenge. It's going to be e-commerce site. You will be selling something, and it'll be something that either you can have on the side. It's something that you can put your time and effort into and grow. You can do whatever you want to do at that point after it's done. And if you already have a business, you already have a website, you already have a job, you already have things in the way, we're going to do it anyway. Okay? It's we're going to make workarounds for all that. I have workarounds for all that, and we'll show you in the course. Okay? So we'll walk you step by step, and that's going to be the challenge. I'll come back and remind you. We're going to do it with you. All right? So that's the first thing I wanted to say. And the first thing usually is money. Let's just knock money off the table. The way that we can do it. They say, I just Googled this, and they say you can get started for $50, and maintenance is $35 a month. I've seen less. I've personally done less. Okay, we're rounding up here. Okay, so I'm not here to convince anybody. I am here to inform and show how, and we're going to do that within this course. All right, so step one is the customer placing an order on your website. Step two, your store automatically sends the order to your supplier. It just almost skips right around you. It's not a lot you have to do. You put up the website to get the sale. You did the marketing. You made the website. You made the structure to automatically take that sale, take the money, and then forward it to your supplier. Your supplier gets that money, and they create it. They wrap it up, and they send it to your customer for you. You make the difference from what your customer paid to what you paid your supplier. That's basically drop shipping. Now, let me tell you the difference here between some other things. Let's say you, at number 2, you got real big to where you can afford to buy in bulk. You can buy in bulk from their drop shipper and get the price down. Let's say you wanted to improve your shipping for your customers, and you wanted to have it already close and able to get there in an hour or a couple days, like Amazon Prime. You would buy it in bulk, ship it over here, package it up, and have it ready. before the customer even ordered. So that's a little more upfront cost for you. And that's what everybody else does that you've been growing up watching. That's what Walmart does. Walmart's even bigger. I go to them. But a lot of these um, department stores, whether it's department stores or it's Gucci or it's Target or wherever, it's all say made in China. It all say made in Indonesia because it's the same hands working on it, right? But if you get as big as Walmart, then you just go over there and buy a warehouse over there. Send it to yourself here and have it on deck. So dropshipping is really not different from other businesses. It's just one form of sourcing your products. Again, it's just a temporary sourcing solution. That's the first perspective. It's not a complete business model. Marketing's not in there. Lead generations, customer service. It's just one aspect of sourcing products. Have you ever been in a situation where you said, man, if I could get a bunch of those cheap, I could sell a bunch of them? Well, this is what dropshipping is allowing people to do when that thought crosses their mind. They can get them cheap, and they can get a bunch cheap. But the key here is that it's the sourcing solution, which means it doesn't address a lot of the other things. You're going to still have to learn a lot of other aspects of business and be successful at those for the dropshipping model to work properly. Also, when I say temporary, you're not going to be able to dropship forever. You're going to have to know that at some point you're going to have to ship faster and source your products your own self, which means you're going to have to maybe narrow down your products. Or maybe you'll open it up to be a marketplace and other people locally can sell their stuff. There's a couple of different options and we'll get into it throughout the course. So the next thing is customer service is key. If you're going to really get the markdowns and the markups in your profits, it's going to be a longer shipping time. It's going to be less quality checking from you. And because of those two things, you're going to have to make up for it with customer service, because that's what a lot of your information from your customers, complaints from your customers, contacts from your customers is going to be. It's going to be about shipping times, shipping tracking, quality of the product because you were unable to check it yourself because you're drop shipping. So those are some inherent problems that we'll talk about later. But to fix a lot of those inherent problems early on is customer service. And later on, to leverage a lot of the inherent issues and prevent a lot of inherent issues is customer service. This is not the type of business that you can get by without good customer service. You're not an electricity company, or a utilities company where, hey, no matter how bad the service is, you need them, right? So, and we'll talk about that later. And then another key perspective when it comes to drop shipping is that it grows at your pace, which a lot of businesses don't do. If you wanted to start a movie theater chain, if you wanted to start a trucking company, if you wanted to start a furniture business, a lot of those have difficulty starting up with low capital and low time and growing at whatever rate that you see fit and is fit for your schedule. Drop shipping's a little bit different. You can start with $50, you can start with $500, you can start with $5,000. You can do it part-time. You can do it as a side hustle. You can do it with full time. You can do it with ambitions to change your life. You can do it as a hobby. You can do it just for a couple extra dollars, right? So it's very flexible in that way. And then once you set it up, it grows at your pace. However much time and effort you want to put into it, that's the success it'll be. Now there is a point where you have to put in enough effort to where it breaks even. But it has a low break even cost or level compared to most businesses. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Once you hit that break even point, you can put $1 million into it and scale it to 30 million. Or you could just put in $100 and just keep making $100 here and there. Make your side money. Make money for investments. Right? You can make one that's fairly passive and then duplicate it. Make multiple passive dropshipping websites. I've seen it done. Okay? And I know people doing it right now. So that kind of brings me to the next point here is to know you're out. Know that the dropshipping form of sourcing your products is not going to last forever. Even the guy that I know that has 8 successful dropshipping companies, each one of those companies has an out. Each one of those companies will eventually be a branded website, which means they'll have a brand, uh, Taymont, and they'll have all of their personal line of, toothbrushes or T-shirts or blouses or whatever, about 10 or 11 products or whatever, and that's what y'all specialize in. And as you grow, you'll be able to brand more things. Or you can become a marketplace. You can have your 12, 6, 11, 15, 20, 100 products on there, but then open it up for other people to sell on your site. And now you have 1,000 products, and only 50 are yours. Only 10 are yours. So you can go that route. You become more of an Amazon, more of a Walmart is a marketplace now, more of a um, uh, eBay, Etsy. We'll get into it, right? And then the other option is a specialty shop, which there's what's hot now.com or something like that, and you can get all the most popular or seasonal or trendy products. That's a specialty shop. It's more of a general store, so you can keep a drop shipping general store. The specialty shop um, does continue its drop shipping model often, but it refines it. It's not buying people from overseas. It has a close relationship, and that the stuff is automated. So is like high-end drop shipping. Okay, a specialty shop. So a specialty shop would also be, if you're a specialist of something. Hey, you're a tax accountant, and you have a tax accounting blog and a tax accounting YouTube, and you make a lot of money tax accounting. Well, click on my link, go to my website, and you can buy you some calculators, or this tax accounting software, or these tax accounting forms. Make you some side money with drop shipping. You know, um, so just understand there's options. Know you're out. Know what you're going to progress on to after the drop shipping phase of sourcing your products. Just keep it in mind. When I say no, it's not set in stone, but you want to know your goals and your direction, and it can change later on. Just don't go in blindly. Okay. All right. So are there drawbacks to drop shipping? Of course, there's drawbacks to everything, but no, there isn't, because it's not called drawbacks. Challenges, hurdles, whatever. And when I seen competitors, it reminded me. I didn't make this picture because I don't believe in competition. Competition is just a name for a group of people that you need to research in your research and development phase of your business. That's what competition is. So whether you are competing, let's say you sell t-shirts, you're competing with other people that sell t-shirts to customers. Doesn't matter how you sell the t-shirts. Doesn't matter if you're drop shipping. Doesn't matter if you have them in your house. Doesn't matter if you have a store. Matter if you have a store and a website. That's the beauty about a website. It's all online ordering for the customer. Create your special niche, and then there's no competition. Put your personal passion into it, and there's no competition. As long as it's original and everybody's different, so as long as you, then there's no competition. If you still have issues with competition, then you're not bringing a unique enough product or service to the marketplace. You need to get more unique. Your business needs to circulate a little bit more around you, your uniqueness, or you and your employees and your affiliates' uniqueness. We have another course on that. Check the files. Not differentiated. All right, so this is talking about the products. We're all buying from the same people. All the products look the same. That's true. But that can be overcome because all of your audiences are not the same. They got a picture here of umbrellas. Well, what is the design on the umbrella? Because if you sell little kids pink stuff, then you got little kids pink umbrellas. These umbrella websites are not treading on you at all. Okay? Quality control, we kind of spoke about. There's workarounds around that. You can get a relationship with your supplier. If they're an established business, if they have lots of supply and they continue to make more, or even more if they're a manufacturer, not another broker, not a distributor, if you can get a hold of the manufacturer, then you can quality check there. I know people that's flown to China and Japan and Indonesia to quality check the products and the systems and the warehouses, and that's what major corporations do. If you're starting off, you don't have the ability to do that. So you want to just build a rapport back and forth with the manufacturer. You want to get a test product and see how it comes in the mail, how fast it gets here, how it's shipped, what the package looks like, if it's still intact when it gets here, right? Test the quality of the product, but there is a sacrifice there. But there are workarounds, just like everything in here. All right. Thin margins. Now, that's kind of debatable. The reason there's thin margins and what they're referring to is like when you're drop shipping not on your own website, not with your own audience. If you're using Amazon's audience, then there are thin margins because there's a lot of competition, which is at the top left. That's another reason why they might assume there's competition. When you're selling your products on eBay, which I will talk about later, it's a good strategy to, once you have your website, you want to also sell your products on other channels. But that's a little bit more advanced. I always focus on your own stuff first, because these other channels can change their regulations on you. They can open and close, they can shut you down or whatever. Just understand these are additional channels when you go sell on Amazon and Walmart and eBay and things of that nature, and Etsy, right? And then sold out. That's another thing with being connected with a reliable manufacturer, and sometimes you don't have that reliability. I will talk about having to be in hustle mode on your early days. If somebody makes a purchase from you, You have to find where it is on this planet that is cheaper than that and get it to them. Simple as that. Simple as that. There's been times when my manufacturers ran out. I had to hustle and find another manufacturer. I did, and I'll get into some details later, but there's ways you can do image search online, and it'll pull up all the websites that's using this particular image search, or that has this particular image on their server. And so they might clue you into some manufacturers. There are different plugins and extensions that help you with that as well. So that's later on in the course. But sold out is another typical drawback issue that you hear. So all of these have workarounds. They all have legitimacy to it if you don't know the workarounds. If you don't know how to overcome challenges and obstacles, these are plenty that you'll run into. There's plenty more, I'm sure. Okay? Let me get another one of those. All right, so the tips when starting a drop business. Again, I didn't put this, but I wanted to use this to, help make some key points for you. Research your niche. We'll get into that later. But niche is important because niche can help eliminate competition. It can help you focus and be able to commit to something long term, and some other things. But it's also not something that needs to be a hurdle in keeping you from starting. Negotiate with suppliers. There's already systems in place where you can interact with suppliers. Um, they call this a tip because the more you negotiate and build rapport with your suppliers, the less instances you will have with bad quality, with bad shipping. You will have opportunities for personal packaging and additional discounts in bulk. And some suppliers have stateside warehouses, things of that nature. Okay, so that's what it means by as a tip to negotiate with suppliers. And oftentimes they will lower the price when you ask. That's just how business is. Okay. Market strategy. That's encompassing because that can be a marketing strategy, but it can also be your market strategy. The key to your market strategy is to know what they call your avatar or your profile and your ideal customer. If you had one ideal customer, who would that person be? What would he watch? What would he go to? What would he or she drink? What would they wear? Etc. 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 And that's what you use to start marketing. Okay. And then your marketing strategy, you take a look at the landscape on where those people are and they're located online, and you start marketing in those directions. You also want to keep an eye on um, attraction marketing. I'll get into that later. But attraction marketing is where you build your content, where you find your passion and talk and speak and write about your passion and attract the people who have a similar passion. Works wonders. Those become your best marketers, your best customer, your biggest fans, the ones that you attracted without advertising to them become your best marketing tools. Keep that in mind. Follow all laws. All right, I was drop shipping 2 years before I got an LLC. It was still legal. I'll put that up there now. Yes, you must report it on taxes. At some point, you will have to either get a business license, depending on where you're at and what products you have, and create an LLC is suggested. Not a big deal. For instance, a limited liability company is limiting your personal liability. If you're in some type of business where you don't have a high liability, that may not be one of your first things on the list, depending on where you're at. Some states an LLC is $50. Some states it's $500. Make it late than never, as opposed to I need to do it first and I ain't got around to it, so I don't do it yet. Okay? There's a reason it's number 3 or 4 on that list. Most people that got sued for millions means they made millions and had millions to get sued for. Advertise. Advertise is different than market strategy in that advertising is usually paid. Marketing is evaluating the market and using attraction marketing. It's a little bit more broader. Advertising is using information from your market and your research to pay advertising and to convince people to do certain things. Okay? That's the difference. And you're going to need that early on when you haven't built yet your following, your community. You haven't built it, created enough content to attract your market. You can use advertising to build your market and sustain your sales until that happens. All right. Now we're getting into some of my more personal tips for my success. Automate using software and virtual assistant. You can Google that and you get 1,000 videos. And you'll sit around for 3 weeks watching videos worth of stuff. But what I want you to look at and understand the bigger picture, we'll go through the course in detail on how to take care of these things, so you're not stuck in YouTube adversity, right? Sales, shipping and logistics, customer service, and marketing. They all can't automate right off the bat. Some automations cost more than others, but they all will be automated to a 85% level at minimum. The key is to remember that it's good to do it manually and understand the manual process, because you're the one that's going to set the automation. For instance, your virtual assistant. You're going to know exactly what to do, and you're going to train your virtual assistant exactly what to do. There are software that will do the whole sales funnel for you. There is software that will post on social media for you. There is software that will do your shipping and logistics, meaning the software will update your products, send updated texts and emails to your customers and you. There is software that will automatically respond to your customers via the chatbot. We'll take voicemail. We'll answer general FAQ questions, and as well as update your customers and potential customers and newsletters and etc. via email and text. So that's a mouthful, but what I'm just trying to get you to understand is that it exists out there. It's at a lower price or free than you think. It's just a matter of putting them together at the right time. And that's what this course is going to show you. Beware and be aware. Analysis paralysis. Again, you're going to hit with a lot of new information and a lot of decisions that you need to make and a lot of selections that you're going to have to make. You can't get overwhelmed and keep you from doing it. I heard people, they've been thinking about the name of their .com for 10 years. Just get it, fail, get another one in 2 years. It's a much better process. Pick a host. That's going to be one of the first things. Get a domain and a host and a platform. Shopify, WordPress, we'll get into that. Okay. Shiny object syndrome. Once you start understanding what's out there and what's possible and what your needs are, you're going to be noticing new hot products left and right. That may or may not, that may be better than what you have. That may help you in certain areas. What you want to do is stay the path. Keep your plan, stay your goal. If it's not, it may be helping you, but it needs to help you at the right time. So if it's not the next thing that you need and looking for, then you got to keep your shiny object syndrome in check, right? And then skipping steps is another thing that can easily be done in this process with dropshipping. People can skip the researching. They can skip learning themselves and trying to start outsourcing and getting other people and other softwares to do too much without knowing themselves. And then cost analysis. People do not keep track of how much you make. After a while, it gets complicated. If I sell you something for $40 and I ordered it for 15, that's a nice chunk of profit. But it's 15 plus $4 shipping. And not just shipping. I'm spending $6 per click on Facebook. So it took me $6 to get that click in the first place. They didn't even buy it right away. They bought it using a coupon through their email. So I'm paying monthly for email. So I'm sure a portion of that email I have to keep paying so that he can get that email. And then there's a coupon where the item's cheaper than it was when I put it up there. So how much did I really make? That's cost analysis. And that's a step that's you do not need to skip. Okay, you need to be aware of, at least in general in your head, and as soon as you can get to a point and put it on paper, onto an Excel sheet, and then on with a tax accountant, and then so on and so on. Okay. Visual appeal. Visual appeal is a secret ingredient. For one, Fiverr is your best friend. There's a lot of good work on Fiverr still. Former Fiverr workers and big wigs that wants to do work that's not on Fiverr, they diss Fiverr because it interrupts their market. But I know people that started multi-million-dollar companies using graphic designs and graphic artists from Fiverr. That's enough for me. It should be enough for you. All right. Good design is not necessarily costly. There are great artists who are just coming out. There are great artists who don't know their costs, don't have the connections to sell high, don't have the confidence. There's still great artists out there, especially when it comes to design. It's a lot less objective and more subjective, or reverse that, right? And what works and what doesn't. Also, your design, it will evolve. So again, I don't want your design, as important as it is, to be a holdup. It will change. Whatever don't spend a half a year trying to figure out a website. It's going to change in a year or two. Just get it out there, get it done. But understand the importance of it. Understand it's the secret ingredient. And that's why it's so hard, because it changes. And what you think is nice, 90% of your customers might think it's ugly. So it is a secret ingredient, and it's not an easy secret ingredient to figure out. But the first step is the last question there. Would you buy here? Would you buy on your own site? Just be honest. Not the you that's supporting other businesses. That's your cousin. That has your passion of what the business is selling. Would you buy it? if you didn't know nothing about it? Would your enemy come to your site and buy from your site if they knew it wasn't you? It's a level of being honest. Okay, that's where the secret is in determining the value. All right, trust the process. Research, then write a simple business plan. Write down what you need and what it will cost. So there are different types of business plans. There's one where you're looking for an investor. There's one where you're looking to apply for some type of government loan, or there's one where you're in some type of competition. There's a business plan that's internal, that's only with your board members. And this is more the one I'm talking about. There's also one that's just for you, and it's internal, and it's to help you keep track of things. And it's not quite as detailed. You don't need projections and objectives, statements, and things of that nature, at least not right off the bat. You need to do some research to find your products, what products you want, what type of products you want. Then you want to write it down. Notice writes in there twice and writes in the red. That's the most important part of number one, is to write it down. You don't have any of this if it's still in your head, and you don't have it yet. Okay? It's not starting to materialize into something that's actually in this world until you write it down. All right, number two. Number two is making a website. And to do that, you have to get domain and hosting, and you have to learn a platform. This is one of the more important steps. Domain and hosting is very easy. We'll walk you through that. You want to know the differences, and don't pick the wrong ones and sign up for the wrong stuff. But that doesn't mean it's difficult. That means you just need someone to show you the details. Learn a platform. We'll show you which platform to learn, and we'll learn it with you. Big deal. But it needs to be done. And the reason you need to learn a platform is so that you can, let's see if it's up there, put out fires in number 4 when you start to have issues. You know, when your employees don't show up, or somebody that you're buying, that your hosting shuts down and your website's not loading, or you lose your files and you have to start over. You need to know enough about what's going on to put out fires. And the way to do that is to do it yourself in step number 2. It's also going to come in handy when you get stressed out. It's going to save a lot of stress. It's also going to come in handy when it's time to train someone. Okay, so you need to learn a platform. That's number 2. Number 3 in the process is integrate your your website with automation software. Now, we talked about earlier, you need to automate. Once you get to this point, I'll have a list for you. We'll have a list of software that you can use and integrate with your website so that we can automate as much as possible. Free and paid. Free until we get paid. Right? So there are integrations, again, like I said before, for payments, marketing, and shipping that can help automate things. Once we get the site, once we learn our platform, I got our domain, our host, we've written down our strategy, then we are going to be integrating and automating. That's number 3. Number 4, we say put out fires as if it's planned. Maybe there are no fires. Then we can skip it. But there are always fires. And if you don't plan for them, then it's a bigger setback. And you don't necessarily plan for them or project them or manifest them. What plan for fires means, learn the platform in 2, have things written down in 1, understand what you're doing in 3, so that when stuff like it's in 4, website down, supplier out of stock, complaints and refunds, taxes, no sales, you already be prepared. We'll go through all that. You have a contingency plan for everything. Number 5 is pivot. I put a period after pivot because that's really describing all of this, because pivoting is what You don't scale till you pivot. Scale to 6. You don't make it big until you pivot. We should know that from COVID. We should know that from a lot of books like the S curve and things of that nature. You're going to get to a point where you're doing all right, where you're just above level, where you're in the green, or maybe not, but you're close, and you're going to have to make a change. So again, don't be surprised when it comes. Prepare for it. It's part of the process. Okay? You're going to have a sales setup in place, and you're still going to need to go back and evaluate and see if you can optimize your sales. Because you can always optimize sales. You can always get more salesmen, better salesmen, a different sales software, something of that nature. Better ad copy. Sourcing. Yes, you're drop shipping, but again, at some point you have to look into, okay, maybe if I bought 1,000 of these, brought them over here, wrapped them, and have them ready to go for next day shipping for my customers with my own logo and boxing and inserts and discounts, where my customers can do a box opening video and I can use it as marketing for my system. So at some point you're going to have to pivot and increase or optimize your sourcing. CS is customer service. After a while, you're not going to be able to answer all the emails yourself. Now, you're not just going to have emails. You're also going to have social media inboxes from all of them. People asking for stuff. Do you have this in black? Can you make this with my name on the back? Can you send this in 3 days? I will pay extra. I'll pay $50 if you can get it here in 3 days. You don't have those things set up, but you need to optimize to where you can when you get to that point. Again, this is context and perspective. Let me pause right here. Take a deep breath. This is context and perspective. The course will walk you through all this. Okay? I just like to give people a bigger picture to see what they're getting into, to get them excited, to get them focused. You know, you don't walk into things confused or misunderstanding. Okay? But the details are in the course, of course. Right? Number 6, you get to a point where you can scale. And scale basically means that you have a system that makes money. You can put money on the back end and get more money on the front end. That's how your business works. And once you have that system working, where you can put money in on the back end, get more money out on the front end, then you take a lot of money and you dump it on the back end so that you can get a lot of money coming out on the front end, if that makes sense. That's what scaling is. And when I say dumping a lot of money into it, there's my list. The money that you get it from is either from profit from the business, your personal income, loans, or investors. That's the money that you get. That's where you get the money to dump into this scaling system that you have. All right? Now, what is dumping this money? Where does this money go specifically when you say dumping this money? A lot of investors want to know that. Well, it's going to go to outsourcing. That's going to free up time with you and whoever you're working with. Outsourcing customer service. Not only free up your time, but increase that makes customer service better tenfold, which is going to increase your sales. So all this money we dumping in is going to do little things to increase your sales on the front end. So we already got free up time. We already got better customer service. The money's going to allow you to buy bulk, so your prices of your products is going to drop. The money that we're talking about is going to help you put more money into your ad spend, into your Facebook and YouTube and Google campaigns, which is going to bring more sales in. on top of having great customer service, on top of you paying less for the product because you bought it in bulk. And then you're going to have technology upgrades. So when they're on the website, it's loading faster. It's saving the last thing that they looked at, which it should be already doing. But it's doing things that technology allows it to do. It's QR codes and things of that nature. So when we say dumping the money into that bucket, that's where the money's going to. And the result is going to be not only the system and the amount that you've been getting, but it's going to ramp it up exponentially. That's what scaling is. We'll walk you through that process. Easy peasy, right? It's simple. It's not easy, right? All right. So the next thing, I'm gonna run through this real quick, and I know I'm kind of in the way. It says books behind my head. Marketing is overcomplicated. So what we do is just write it down. Just break everything down so you can see what you need, so you can see where to start and where to put back on. You know, if you're selling swimsuits, don't start on LinkedIn advertising. Just let's make some common sense things and write some things down. Start on Instagram. If you have a resume writing service, start on LinkedIn advertising. Right? Cut back on Facebook or TikTok. Right? So you got social media, you got search engine, you got display ads, you got video, and you got written. So I'm going to just run through these. Under social, you got targeted ad campaigns across multiple platforms. That is running advertising, just like you see on Facebook. You running them yourself, or your company running it to other people. Targeted people that are likely to like your stuff. Across multiple platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever else. What they take, just like most of them, pictures, videos, and ad copy. That's what it uses, and that's what's important. Ad copy is the words used. You know, do you like to ride bikes? Click here. That's ad copy, right? So come up with something, and they have bots for that. They got books on that, and we'll get into that, all of that in the course, right? Now, search. Search is just what shows up when somebody searches for it. Whether they search for it in Google or Bing or YouTube, anywhere. What pops up on the screen when they search for you? A lot of the things that pop up on the screen when you search on any of those are advertisements. That's what we're talking about here. Search results placement. Now, the ones that are not advertisements, we're talking about those too. Those are SEO, organic. SEO stands for search engine optimization. So it's optimized to show up on the search engine organically. Just because it's relevant, it's so relevant to what the person is searching for. So you got search results. And what do you need for search optimization? You need pictures, video, and ad copy. Display. Display ads or ads that just show up in other people's stuff. You ever been reading a blog article and it's an ad on the right or right in the middle? You ever been playing a game and you pass a board on your phone and then the ad pops up? You know, you ever read something physical anymore? Paper, magazines, see the ad copies? You ever drive down the street and see billboards anymore? Those are all display ads. From business cards to billboards to blogs and games. That's a whole strategy behind that. And as more people go online, A lot of the offline stuff is getting cheaper and more effective. Everybody still checks their mail. Everybody's going to look at your business card if you hand it to them. We'll get into that. Video. Video is a key, not the key, but it's a key component because you can create content. You can start attracting people and building your tribe, doing that attraction marketing I was talking about. You can also take that content, chop it up, and use it for social and search and all those other things that we looked up before that had video down there. And then once you build your tribe, you'll start to get testimonials. Video testimonials are very powerful. Product review videos, you see them on YouTube. Box opening, it's all on YouTube. Reviews are all on YouTube. You can use all that, chop it up, and turn them into video ads. Turn those into social media ads and search engine ads and display ads, really. Your niche YouTube topics. Whatever your niche is, you make YouTube videos and with those topics. We'll use those videos for the same reasons we use all the other videos. That's what niche YouTube topics are. Written. Some people like to write. I am more of a writer than a video person. I have more blogs and books than I have videos for now. Ad copy, like I said before. What are the words used to get people to click on your ads? Your website copy. Once people click on your apps and go to your website, how is that worded? Are you giving the information that's needed? Are you providing the benefits? Blog articles. Are you providing help to people? Are you giving back to the world for free? And books. When you do want somebody, when you do run into people who want more in-depth information, do you have it? All of those are means of marketing, building your community, gaining buyers and repeat buyers. Keynote at the bottom, organic can and must be done. Money will boost the process as we go. So, in other words, all of these on here can be done organically in some fashion. Money will boost all of these. And we strategically, depending on when you get the money, where you're at in your business, and what the business model is, where to put the money in to boost it, and what the results will be. Okay, we'll get into that later into the course as well. Now, we talked about this a little bit about exploring multiple channels. You have to get to that point, but it depends on your product and your model. Some people start with Amazon. I have a website now that sells more on Etsy than its own website. Easy. Depends on the product and your model and your operations. So we'll get into that. You also want to explore other sales means, products, print on demand, custom design, downloadable products, subscription boxes. This is part of that moving on from dropshipping or expanding from your dropshipping line of products. Just keep that in mind now. We'll get into it later. But again, big picture stuff here. When logistics and resources allow. Some places don't give you a tracking number for 6 days. And Etsy or Amazon, somebody wants their tracking number in 3 days. Depending on your product and your situation, it just won't fit at the time until you start to buy your own and get it shipped over here first and then send it directly to Amazon's warehouse or something like that. So there's options, but when logistics and resources allow, just be aware, big picture, because when we get into it, it's going to soften the blow when we get into it, if you're aware of it now. Okay? I have people always asking about more information on certain things. ISB University All Access student members. Now, for the members, you will have access to the other courses. We have a WordPress, Shopify, and graphic design course. Those are 3 different courses. We have multiple business startup courses, depending on the business model. We have a course on planning taxes and filing your incorporation and things of that nature. We also have um, courses on starting different types of businesses. And we have an online marketing courses, because depend on your type of online marketing, we have a course for that. We put these together, and whatever area that you're in, you can delve deep into those courses. Now let me move my head again. I want to let you know that these courses will and are available individually for non-members as well, at a fee, of course. Okay? So whatever you need to know more about, you can get more in depth. You're going to learn a lot of other stuff that incorporates to other businesses. But if there's somewhere where you're behind or you need detailed, you want to become a WordPress expert. You want to get to a level where you can help other businesses get started. If you want to become a digital marketer or online marketing expert, then you can delve into those other courses. But before you do all that, I want to remind you that there's a course challenge in this course, and that's to have a website built. And in the forums after the course, we want to see a link to your website. Okay, and we'll discuss and we'll go from there. It keeps growing. It keeps going. It's not an end all. It's just a challenge for the first leg in the race. Okay. Again, if you already have one, build another, and we'll walk you through it completely. So the first steps in walking through it is these 3 things. We need you to pick a niche. We need to pick a domain and hosting, and pick a platform. Okay? Don't do it right this second. We're going to walk you through it. This is big picture. I'm just letting you know that the first steps will be these 3 things, and for you to write it down. We'll talk about WordPress versus Shopify. We'll talk about picking your niche and picking your passion and researching products that will sell. We'll talk about all that. We'll talk about the platforms, how much you need to learn and all that, how much it's going to cost and all that. But again, this is me interjecting into the course, giving you a sneak peek on things, right? All right, I threw this up here to let you know we're going to suggest WordPress as the platform. We know we got Wix and Square and Shopify and GoDaddy and things of that nature. But we're talking about a business here, not just a hobby. We're talking about something that needs to be able to grow and make its adjustments. And we're gonna recommend WordPress, and we'll get into why. This is be part of getting into why, because the training is built around WordPress. This is one of my backgrounds, and one of my sites has 70 plugins, all doing different things at the same time. We'll go in. I'll have someone go down and give you details of each plugin. We're going to walk you through the process. Okay? All right, that's it for this presentation. This is just me interjecting into the course. Dropshipping context and perspective. I like to come in with these early on into the course so that you can get, like I said, a bigger idea of things, get you excited. I don't want you running out early because you get too overwhelmed or confused or not understanding the direction. We need you to fully understand things. So that's all I got. There's several presenters. Just need to stay the course and focus, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.